Slomozovo. I also have a second channel where I film my entire life. And a lot of you watch it, and I'm really, really happy that you guys watch it. And it makes me happy being able to talk to people in the real world in such numbers. It's so cool, because we've been doing this for a very long time, and this is where it starts getting interesting. So I wanted to actually talk kind of seriously for a little while. I probably won't be able to get through everything I wanted to say, because we're running a little bit behind, whatever. But I wanted to talk about, like, a lot of people who watch my channel actually also make stuff as well. So for those of you who aren't interested in making stuff and like the theory of what goes on behind making stuff, I wanted to talk particularly about like telling stories using short form stuff on YouTube. For those of you who don't know, like short form versus long form is like the difference between like an advert or a YouTube video and like a television series or a movie. So I was hopefully going to talk a little bit about what I've been doing, what I'm planning to do, and hopefully be a little bit educational for you, and also just let me like brainstorm out loud for a little while, and you have to listen because you can't get out. Who here is a fan of Doctor Who? Yeah, I apologize for bashing it the other day. I'm not a big fan, but proof in this room right here that it is good, and that a lot of people enjoy it, a lot of people keep coming back. Who here is an Adventure Time fan? Those are two examples I'm going to be coming back to. Because the big thing that makes these shows something that you invest in and that's something that you come back to is the characters, the way that they build the characters. You like the characters, you care about the characters. And when people ask me how I get these ideas and how I like develop sketches, I always say, think of the characters first, or think of the dynamic that you want the characters to have. So like in a Jack and Dean sketch, in that sketch, Jack's the straight man, Dean is the silly man, he gets stuck under the floorboard. We know the dynamic there. We know their relationship very quickly, very instantly. We understand the dynamic and we like the characters. We like that scenario. And we like them and we want to root for them because of the way that they've explained their situation on screen. Same with Doctor Who. We care about these characters because they're quirky and they're silly and there's love interests. And even if they can solve every single thing with their stupid TARDIS and their stupid freaking sonic screwdriver, we still watch because we like the characters. So how can we do that in online stuff? When you want to make stuff that's like 3 minutes long, 5 minutes long, how do we do that? And that's something I'm trying to approach with my plans for next year. I want Slomozovo to have web series running on it. So instead of just doing single sketches, I'm planning at least 3 web series that would be 6 or 10 episodes that run, consecutively on the channel. And at the moment, I'm trying to battle with creating characters that people are going to want to watch again. For instance, I'm working on a series. I'm not going to tell you the name because it might change, but I'm working on a series about a stupid creative who's like the worst case scenario of all of us. So he's kind of crap, and he's kind of bad at what he does, and he pours effort into the wrong areas, and he alienates his friends, and he has a bad time, but it's kind of his fault. But at the same time, I have to make him likable. So I have to give him nice dialogue. And one of the things that I actually go to for research is romance movies. I love romance movies anyway. I don't need an excuse to watch Dear John. I love that film. But romance movies, one of the things they do really, 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 really well is establish a character that you really, really like using dialogue very quickly. Because they want to spend the most time in the movie working on the romance. So you have to like those characters like pretty much immediately. They have one scene to get it right. And so like you can watch a romance movie and say, okay, how did they do that with just a little bit of dialogue, with like 3 sentences of dialogue? We love this character. We want them to be happy. We want them to get married to this other character. But we've only had like one tiny encounter with them. So you can learn from that and adapt it to tiny things. If you're making YouTube web series or single web videos, sketch comedy, that's kind of thing that I'm drawing my like tips from. Another example that I'm gonna draw on. I'm gonna move on a little bit. I'm gonna skip over some things because I need to hurry this up. There's a Say Anything is really good as well. It's in my notes. If you haven't seen Say Anything, you should watch Say Anything. It's lovely. You know the radio, that iconic thing. John Cusack? No? Okay, whatever. The next thing is like how we go about formatting short form. So like short form has to be short, has to be little, because people on YouTube are expecting little things. Doesn't mean you don't always have to do little things, but it helps. A lot of people want to watch like a 3-minute episode or a 5-minute episode. So like it's not particularly conducive to online stuff to go for the Western series model of like 20 episodes a piece. Like half hour, 20 episodes in a season, run for the whole year. We don't really have the budget, we don't have the time, and nobody has the attention span for that kind of thing. So I kind of take British TV as more of a model. So like a 6-episode series, a 6-episode mini-series that has a little arc together, only they're shorter episodes as well. Or I take examples like VGHS. Anyone a Freddie Wong fan? Freddie Wong? Yeah? Did you watch VGHS? It's amazing. But it was shot basically as a feature film. You can watch it back to back and it is perfectly structured as a 90-minute film. But then they cut it down and they released it in small segments, getting slightly longer each time. Amazing. That's perfect. That's an example of the way that you can tell a story, a big story, but you can split it up for a web series. I would also draw on the example I made earlier of Adventure Time. You guys are Adventure Time fans. If you're not, go and frickin' watch it. When it started airing, they aired it the same way they do with everything on Cartoon Network. They did 2 10-minute episodes in a block. But now that it has a narrative life of its own, they just air single episodes. Millions of people are tuning in every week to see 10 minutes. That's insane. And if it was a web series, it would be the most popular web series of all time. I am sure of it. And you just have to look at fans like Dean, who is obsessed. He just made a YouTube channel about it. You fool. Did anyone see the season finale of this season? I'm not going to spoil anything. It's called The Lich. And they achieved in that 10-minute episode a better cliffhanger than most primetime sci-fi and fantasy in 10 minutes, and in a series that is only ever 10-minute segments. So if they can do that with the limited storytelling room they have, then we can do that, I reckon. We just have to work at it. That's another really good example. That's something that is now mainstream that we can learn from as online developers. So the only other thing I wanted to mention, there's one more point, I'm skipping a lot of stuff, but feel free to come and find me at my stall afterwards and talk about stuff. The other major point I think is important is telling a lot with a little, and I know that's a very cliche bit of advice, but I come from a filmmaking background, so I'm like, I want to tell things with pictures and less words. I want to be like, camera, do all the work, tell these people what it is, make this guy small and this guy big in the frame, so like, you know, you can see their dominance, you know, that kind of like film school theory. And a really good place for this, another mainstream place for this, although less mainstream nowadays because they're kind of pointless,